Hi everybody, my name is Jerome Wright, and once again you're joining me for an amazing video here on my Jeronification channel. And some of my last videos, my last three videos, I believe referenced all of that of Mount Rushmore and my amazing findings there with regards to those presidents, which was George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, um, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, it's my position that these people that find their ways in these enormous settings, um, in reference in history, is not so much for their achievements and accomplishments of who they were as public servants and in the founding of America, but more so with regards to the cult-like rituals that actually contributes in an ongoing process to the genetic manipulation and alterations of mankind's genes. Okay. Here I'm going to show you again. I'm going to conclusively show you that George Washington, who is shown seated here in this painting in the dome of a Washington State building in the Capitol Hill of U.S., that this man knew and genetically contributed and sacrificed himself to alter the genes of that of mankind. And that's why in these settings that you see this, and this is here is consistent with those biblical figures with Jesus, with John the Baptist, with Lazarus, with Cain, and all of these depictions that are captured by these Renaissance artists are all showing the same exact thing. Now, I started this video and I didn't actually get the artist. I have the artist in the Mount Rushmore sculpture. I said that the artist there, Cabuzo, or whatever his damn name is, was linked to that of the Vatican. And I think that I erred because of the fact that this artist is the one that actually had did I think about maybe 3 or 4 years worth of work for a pope there for the Vatican. So I probably meant to actually suggest that this artist here is the one that actually was linked to the Vatican, as opposed to that of the sculptor that I mentioned that carved the faces, the presidential faces of Mount Rushmore, which I'm possibly sure, though, in the long run, that I can link them all to that, because these people that have this knowledge, believe me what I'm telling you, in so much as far as the artists, their mentors, their schools, and all of that, I'm telling you people, there's a network in the art world that if they can do this, believe me what I'm telling you, they're known worldwide for what they're capable of doing and their knowledge of what is going on, as I'm going to show you here in this painting here. This is never before has this been addressed anywhere. It's controversial, but about George Washington being in the divine state of being a presence here in this painting, but never before have you actually heard anything of what is being stated or what is being said here, except for right now in this video released here on my YouTube channel. All right. Again, I'm accusing George Washington, former U.S. president, founder of America, of being in a cult-like practice that genetically altered the genes, the genetics of mankind here in the U.S. and abroad. And that's what this is all about, and that's what this image is all about. Alright. First of all, I'm going to compare, well, you know what, I'm not going to compare it to that. Well, yeah, I'm going to compare it to that. I'm going to show you something. Because I did, now, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay with what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what's going on here. Let's look at this for what this is. Do you know what this is, people? This is showing you that this is a reproductive system. Okay, a reproductive system where there is death and resurrection. The death is that of, and the bridging of that of ancient genes, which actually of that of ape and Africans. So always, and genetic bridging of them. What are they being bridged with? I can show you where Africans and apes have been bridged over with oceanic creatures, that of creatures in land animals such as lions, such as horses, such as hippos. I mean, people, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And there's a consistent record of the same exact thing as I'm going to show you here with George Washington. This represents a grail of change. Okay? I'm trying to look for the right word to actually use. The grail, like, like a genetic artery of change, an avenue of change. The penis, the vagina, all of these things all twisted up into one. And that's what this is. That's what this represents. The change of all of everything that is within. Okay? And this is what this is reminiscent of. But I'm going to go right to it. Instead of me trying to get into this thing from a scientific approach, which I really don't know what the hell I'm talking about, to be totally honest with you. But however, my true paranormal experience and encounter has led me to the truth, and I can show you what I'm actually trying to state to you. And that's better where I need to stay at. Okay, because I'm not a scientist, I'm not an expert or in anything, in any field or anything. I want to put that out there. This man is telling you that he is bridged from either side. He's a bridging link of everything that is being stated here. Here is where it began, and here is where it picked up at, in this circle here. You know, the best way to actually, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that as another, for something else. Okay. George Washington is saying that he altered the original genes of mankind. What are the original genes of mankind? They are monkey, ape. Always must be shown when there is a reference of genetic bridging. Where's the ape at? Well, simple. Very simple. The ape is right here. The ape is in the skirting of this woman you see having her arm twisted over in a gala way with this other female, showing you that the ape, there was a bridging process here. Okay? Now, in this woman's dress, the way her skirting, here's her head here, and there's her arm coming out, shows you how she genetically emerged from that of ape. The apes genetically emerged further away from that of the ape and then bridged over. I'm going to show you something. In her skirting right underneath her left arm, her right arm, you see that opening creates the open mouth of that of the ape. Shows her head coming out of the ape, which is actually created by her skirt. Here, there's the brow of the ape, and if you look closely, there is an eye at the ape. It creates the whole head of an ape in her skirting. This is the reason why her skirt looks the way it does. The eye is right there, people. There's the eyebrow. There's the ape's mouth, and the top lip is created by her skirting being pushed over far enough to create the open mouth of that creature, and the way her head and body is folded away from there creates the bottom lip of the ape, and it shows you genes being being pulled out. Look, and this is what's going on. Now, before I show you what else is being addressed, I'm going to show you what this is consistent with. This encryption style can also be seen. In Primavera, another controversial painting by Botticelli. Again, you see these women, these hands bridged over? You see that? These linking? You see that? The same exact scenario as George Washington has here with these women here. And you know what is actually shown? What is being bridged over? I'm going to do it in a smaller picture. When you Google this image, actually I can do it here. About the silly, the same exact thing. I showed you the ape here. You see the image of the ape? That's a monkey's head, people. That's what this encryption is. It's in the skirting. Okay? Again, go right to the eye. You can go to the eye first. There's the eye. This creates the open mouth. Her body emerging from that of the monkey. Shows how these genes emerged. She was bridged over after the initial ancient gene, and this is consistent with everything. There's a genetic trail that I can continue reading from this point backwards as well too, or forward. Okay, so this is an ape. So Botticelli, who created Primavera, which means spring, and also, by the way, spring means reborn, rebirth. Okay. All right, so look up the definition of Primavera, which thanks to a friend of mine, Lelia, she actually told me that that Primavera means spring, and then I actually looked up the definition of spring, and spring means rebirth, to renew. Okay, and that's what the name is totally fitted for this image. Okay, because that's what is being done here. Okay, rebirth. All right, to create new, to change. The ape. Notice that George Washington artist put the ape in the skirting, and then created the woman emerging out of it. Botticelli did the same daggone thing. There's an ape in the ass of this woman. The ape's mouth. A smirking ape, in fact. There's the ape's bottom lip. There's the ape's coming over the top ape's face. There's the left nostril. There's the right nostril. And transparently, you can see the eye. This is the left eye, and then the right eye. There's the ape face right there. In the ass of this woman. And I highlighted it to bring it in darker for you. And I guess we can zoom in. I'm going to bring it in closer for you here. Look at the ass, people, and look at the ape and the ass. So when you Google that image, look for the eye there, nostril, and the mouth. And there's a smirking ape and her ass. This is Botticelli stating the same exact thing that's pretty much being stated here. Showing you which animals were used to genetically bridge over. So, now, George Washington seated in the middle. Now, mind you, that this man had always kept this black slave, this man at his side. Okay? And what was the other thing? Now, George Washington always kept a black man at his side. So let's look at this as George Washington's black slave, because with these genetic bridgings, people, this is why, I mean, in these cult-like rituals, and in these, they say these Illuminati groups, which I actually don't talk about, in these conspiracies and all of that, where they say that there's homosexuality, and they're talking about these cult rituals. Well, people, that is actually what is actually here in my discoveries. And this is why I'm telling you that you have all of these molestation allegations and all of that amidst the Vatican. It's the same exact thing. Through these cult-like rituals that have been from day one, from the beginning, this is how they did this. It was done through oral ingestion of semen and that of blood. That's what this was all about. Alright, so we have our monkey. So what is George Washington telling you that he genetically bridged over? Basically, this is amazing. If you look in here, you see a bunch of mutations. Okay? And I can actually identify them or what they are. Okay, but I'm only going to point out two more. I don't want to give up everything, people. Alright? There's the monkey. George Washington is in the middle. We go opposite the monkey. And in the skirting of this woman over here, lo and behold, you'll see the face of a horse or a mule. Her feet and the end of her skirt, the bottom of her skirt, creates the nostrils of an ass, of a horse. You see that? Right there. So bridged over the genes of the ape and the horse, George Washington is showing you that he altered the genes of mankind. What else is there? Well, there's also, we know that the horse represents, well, the ape does too, but the horse is consistent with that of the dinosaur. There's another creature here that's always going to be present as well in these inscriptions. Well, the bird is going to be there. Where would you see the bird? Well, the bird is upside down right next to George Washington, right here. I'm going to turn the bird upright, and I have it highlighted here. So I'm going to turn this image upside down. There's the bird right there, equipped with feathers and all. There's the head of the bird. Shows you these genes in the cocktail, in the cauldron-like chemistry. Look at this as a cauldron, a cooking kettle, a witch's brewing kettle of genes. Shows you the creatures that genetically contributed to the chemistry behind the process in which George Washington genetically altered himself and continued on. There's that horse face. You see that, people? Amazing, isn't it? Look, I did not deviate from a line that is already there. Look, everything that you see captured here to create that horse's face, and there's other creatures there too. I didn't actually go into, I'm not going to go into describing, but all of this, people, is showing you what's going on. So now George Washington is showing you through this chemistry and process. Now, through the vagina and through the penis, he continues on. And that's what this is all about, in a nutshell. Google this image, find the face of the horse, find the face of the monkey, which is right there, which is undeniable, and go to Primavera and notice that the same thing is being, which I decoded this too, I have a video on that too, people. The same thing is being stated over here, showing you how these genes were bridged over. And another thing about that is that there's an implication of pregnancy that is here, being carried in the belly, and again, right here as well too. Same message. It's my position, people, that the knowledge, the hidden knowledge, the ancient secret knowledge, has everything to do with our genetic identity, or the genetic identity of mankind. And I can take us from any moment in time to any painting in time, famous painting in time. And I can do this with, because I am genuinely paranormally drawn to this stuff. And if it is referencing who we are, I'm drawn to it. I have had a spiritual, a mental uplifting, an out-of-body experience that drags me to this like a magnet. I say, look, you know what this is. And this is how I'm able to bring you these amazing videos. Look at how many experts looked at this painting. Look at how many people looked at this painting in awe. Look at the controversy that not just that painting created, but this painting as well, people. Primavera. And here I'm bringing you monkeys and the asses and other creatures as well, and showing you that this is referencing nothing more than the almost like a Garden of Eden scenario, where the genetics, the chemistries, are being reintroduced again. I gave you a head of a queen, an African queen here, shown with her mouth open onto this woman here. This is the headpiece of an African queen right here. We know what they all look like. That same banana bend and everything. Look. There's the neckline. Look at this. There's her lips open. And what is her mouth doing on there? Look, people, it's showing you. Look, you see this? This is the African. Look, this is the. Look at this as for what it is. An African headdress, an African woman, and then showing you, look, how these jeans are carried. Look at the skirting at this woman. She is being a mule, a carrier of these jeans, to where these jeans are being broken down. A king over here with a face of a horse encrypted in there that I can draw a lot easy for you, and other faces as well too, because they're multi-dimensional faces in here and there. I'll give you a smaller picture so you can actually make that smaller picture of Primavera, because when it backs off you can actually see it. See these two? This creates the halo over that woman and the angel, showing you that, look, these jeans, these African jeans, bridged over. And look, angel shooting an arrow. I know what all of this means, people. Everything. I even know what this means. Look, we're in the woods, in the black woods. We're in the blackened area, the black jeans. We're tearing free from the blackness of those woods. This is what this is showing people. Look, bridged over, escaping the African ape genetic heritage. Breaking away, breaking these genes away, showing you, rebridging them again, and then finally they're able to enjoy a black free gene, for which they now then created the greater whiteness likeness genetically of themselves. And that's what this is, escaping that of your black, your black ancestry, genetic black ancestry, and emerging on. This is how, from continent to continent, throughout Africa, the African continent, all through Asia, China, even Germany, all of these places, this is how they genetically emerge from the darkest colors of our ape ancestor and African ancestor. And it's all recorded. Everything, this of what I described and the magnitude of this requires a massive record. It's all captured in art. U.S. President has left behind in the monuments in Washington. There's some in Philadelphia. There's in every record, just like they did in ancient Rome, in ancient Greece. George Washington is doing the same exact thing. He is saying that he genetically bridged himself and those around him, that subsequently resulted in the future changing of the genetic identity of all of those in which comes into contact with the cocktail cauldron-like chemistry that he created genetically, almost like a virus, if you will. Now, he is stating now through the penis and through the vagina, he now is still, he's there. His presence is there. It's the same thing with Jesus. It's the same thing with Mary Magdalene. It's the same thing with all of these so-called divine beings that graced our world and have went around and contaminated, because that's what it was, a contamination of mankind's genes. I can show you where this process was interfered with. Whom was this interfered by? I can show you an artist that boastfully shows in the record that through him and the Vatican, he contaminated this process from which George Washington has created. I'm accusing, I know for a fact that Salvador Dali intervened along with the Vatican, with the Pope, and it shows the record that Salvador Dali intervened in this process of George Washington. And I would almost be willing to guess, possibly, I don't know how many years it is, that, I'll have to let the experts figure that out, but I'll be willing to guess that this process, they'll be able to show you now. There'll be a new record. Looks like I even see a monkey's face in here almost with the horse face. Yeah, you know what? The horse, this is showing you too. Look at this and how these multi-dimensional images are here. I can actually draw you a monkey's face here out of this as well too. Look at this monkey. Look, there's a monkey's face there, and look, it shows you these genes being pulled out. Look at that, and being taken. You see that? Okay, there's the monkey face. Now look at the horse face. Now I highlighted the horse face. Okay, there's another creature beside it. All you have to do is look at the skirting. Some of these creatures you would not even be able to know, but this is a Renaissance artist encryption style. Okay, there's a reptilian ape there. Okay, but this is the encryption style. They use the clothing. Okay, this is what Leonardo da Vinci did with the Last Supper too. Especially look at Bartholomew. All right, but anyway, here, look at this upside down, and you see the altered genes also of the monkey. There's a nostril. Look, the lips. See the monkey, elongated monkey's face? The right eye, left eye. And then I see the mother of creation as well too. There's a witch-like woman on the end right there, which is consistent with all my other finds. There's a monkey, and then a woman, a witch-like woman. So we have 3 multi-dimensional faces there. We have the face of a witch-like woman. There's her pointy nose. There's the mouth. And her eye is that. Her right eye is that with the left eye of the monkey's face, and coming down. Now, if you take it and look at it, now this is 3 faces I'm giving you, people. Look at this. 3 multi-dimensional faces just in this one skirt of this woman, a monkey, a witch-like woman, who I dub as the mother of creation, Madonna. You think of the most highest woman and this is who she is. She is the mother of mothers, okay, and always appears with the ape. Now, I can change that image and give you the ass, the horse face. Look at that. Amazing. Then it shows you a combination of all of the creatures. This is amazing, people. You should be upset, because divinity is not what you think it is. The serenity and knowing where your loved ones go when they pass on. I mean, all of that knowledge, people, is with me. I mean, we can go on and go with this and go with that and go with the third, but I can take our world apart. It's art. The art of our world belongs to me. I can take everything in art and break it down just like this. Everything. Whether it's a sculpture, it doesn't make a difference. Then, what's applicable here is actually a reference to our ancient texts, because our artwork, our ancient artwork and ancient text is hand in glove in each other. It tells you it's a picture and a story. It now tells you through these ancient reference time, these historical moments in time, what really occurred and what happened. My biggest example on this is the flight to Egypt, in ancient biblical texts. The flight to Egypt is a genetic, overwhelming, a mega genetic contamination of Egypt. And each and every Renaissance artist references it in their art. Now, the Great Flood, or the Great Deluge. Same exact thing, where Noah is talking about all of a genetic contamination of a mass scale based on all of the animals that they utilize to genetically contaminate and alter the genes of mankind, which subsequently calls for that genetic washing of our Caucasian counterparts, which they genetically emerged further from that of our ape and African ancestor. People, look at people today. How in the world do we get from that monkey image, that monkeyness, that monkey, to green hair, blue eyes, red hair, I mean not green hair, red hair, brunette hair, green eyes, perfect teeth. You getting the picture, people? The utilization of animal genetics is what caused that change. That's what happened. And it's continuing to happen. I once heard that, well, let me, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let me go with that. I once heard that Caucasians are nothing more than Africans or apes turned inside out. I agree with that statement wholeheartedly because I know how it was done. Now, let me tell you another thing that I want you to look at before I close this video. Everything that I'm stating here, not only is it provable, I mean, because I'm showing you right in your face, okay? So, I mean, that there, it goes without saying, I don't need no scientific analogy of none of this, you know? Because you have common sense. And common sense shows you that I know what I'm talking about. You have an ape and a horse and a bird and other creatures, and it shows you that George Washington is stating that in a cycle of genetic contamination, he bridged himself over and a new gene was created. Point blank. Who can argue with me with that? And I just showed you. Who? Nobody. Okay? So, now, look at our darkest of ape species. Black ape. Look at that. Then look at our darkest of African. And then look how the changes through each continent from that ancestor, from that region, of how everybody started to change and become lighter. Get to our Asian world. All of the hair, I mean, the Africans' hair, totally black. Totally black. Genetically, totally black. Even their skin, totally black. Then we get into the Egyptian and Arab world. Again, these people are totally brown, except for later on in genetic change came, totally brown, and again, totally black hair. Genetically. Then later on in time, there's this gap. Then. And now we start getting lighter versions of mankind, but still, consistently, the hair and the eyes are the same. As previously stated, with the Africans, the hair, and with the, it wasn't until we got lighter and lighter, and well, let's say whiter and whiter, that the eyes changed. I'm telling you, through the chemistry of creatures of our world, if you look at these animals of our world, because we were genetically bridged over with them, this is where everything else kicked in at. And with the birds as well, too, people. Because you see George Washington showing you the birds, there's also other artists that does the same thing. And this is where the other likenesses of who we are. Let me go back to Primavaria. And this is what happened with the eyes and the hair. And amazingly enough, I have been gifted to show you, and I can, from the beginning, from before the beginning, because there are life forms and there is ancestors before all of this, people, and before Africans and before apes. We have ancestors, people, that you don't even know about, but yet I do. I can take you back in time, in a place where you could never even could possibly even believe existed. Bring you back through time, fill in all of the gaps, and then bring you to current and show you what was the resulting chemistry, which will result in each and every individual on our planet. My name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jeronification channel. I will continue to take apart every artist's work, every ancient religious text or text period, and I will continue to take down our history, unveil our history of our world, until I am global. It doesn't matter to me at this point, because we are beyond a realistic realm. We are in a fantasy, and people boldly, like George Washington and those that create this kind of artwork, boldly display this stuff in your face because they know that they have an enjoyment that you do not know what it is. I can go on every place in our world, throughout, especially through our ancient royalty and our ancient religion. I can walk through Sistine Chapel, um, any place in Rome, okay, any place in Britain, any place in Russia, any place in Germany, any place in Japan, any place in China, any place globally, and I can take your world apart, just like I'm doing here. I am genetically and spiritually drawn to all of this, and until every person on this planet understands what is happening to us and what is our true cause for existence, I will continue to do so. And then even after that, because we're going to change, and I'm going to show you what the truth is about us. So if you're interested, help me get there to where I need to be globally, standing on that pedestal to let everyone know who we truly are. Thank you. My name is Jerome Wright. Or should I say at that podium? Okay. My name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jeronification channel. Okay. You can also get it on Alien UFOs. Okay. I'm there too. That's where I began at. I began at a confusing, real confused person. Believe me when I tell you. And I still get confused in these videos because as I'm giving you these videos, people, I'm seeing other things through my multidimensional sense of vision. I'm also in my multidimensional sense of awareness. As I'm showing you these things, my mind is delving in and out of other places. And believe me when I tell you that it's, I mean, as bizarre as my life should be with having all of this in me, it actually feels good because it's a sense of serenity that gives me comfort in knowing who I am and where I came from. It's knowing your true origins, and this is why that's why the comfort level and the high-strung head of this guy here for having this done, and the artist for doing this stuff, and those in religion. This is how come they can enjoy that comfort zone and knowing who they are. I'm looking at some faces here that are just totally amazing. I see things in here, people, that my gosh, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yeah. You should see the multi-dimensional faces that I can see in this. It almost looks like a cartoon strip. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah. My name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jeronification channel. Again, just share my videos with a friend. Okay? George Washington, U.S. President, founder of U.S., is guilty of altering the genes of Africans, slaves, blacks. He used creatures, the genetics of creatures, just like everyone else did that had this knowledge. And those creatures included horses, okay, and birds, ancient birds, okay, and all of this is a chemistry, a cocktail, cauldron-like chemistry that calls for the altering of the genes of this creature to weaken that creature's genetic presence in their body and strengthen the genetic presence of the newly created genes from the previous contamination to distance themselves from their original origins of who they genetically were. And in doing this, those genes that they contaminated are being destroyed, and those beings, meaning becoming extinct. So, through this process, there is death and resurrection, and extinction, should I say. So, the trail of what's being left behind from all of this is devastation. And this can be witnessed on the continent of Africa, Haiti and these other third world countries where there are sicknesses and diseases popping up that no one knows nothing about. These people enjoy a cure. But that's another thing that's good about this is because I can almost imagine that I can tell you what happened and through which process, because there's a record of all of this, that where these elements popped up, what happened, because people, the artwork is referencing what was genetically injected into those regions. So basically all you have to do at this point is basically all you have to do at this point is take and I want to draw something. I wonder if I can. I want to. You know, how much time do I have on this video? Can I draw that in? I almost should. Where's the other one? Hang in there with me for a minute, people. I want to see if I can draw this real quick for you without screwing this up. Hang in there for a minute. I'll close this video off. Can I get that in there? Now, you know what? I'm going to need more time because I'm going to mess it up if I try to draw it real quick. Yeah, I'm not going to draw that right now. Alright, my name is Jerome Wright. You're on my Jeronification channel. Again, go here to the monkey. Okay? There's an eye there in her skirting. The way her skirt is created creates the lips of that monkey, and her head creates the bottom lip. Just you know what? This is just like the way it is in the think with me. Oh, in my last video, Mount Rushmore video, where the body of Abe Lincoln creates the bottom lip of the mother of creation. So look at that video, and you can look at the same exact thing is almost being stated there in an opposite way. Okay, on how these figures. That's why they're all close together and morph together like that there, because the smaller pictures create a larger picture, and I know how to read it. But look at this, people. These creatures, George Washington is telling you that he utilized their genes to genetically alter himself and the future genetics of mankind. And then there's another reference where another artist comes in who's working with the Vatican, Salvador Dali, because he's been to visited the Vatican twice. Plus, he has an artwork, and I want to bring that up, but I'm not now because my phones are all over the place right now. But Salvador Dali shows you where he had sexual relations with a pope, and now he was genetically larger than what the pope was because he was carrying the pope's genes, and that's what is messaged in his painting. I almost want to draw this out real quick. You can barely see it. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what I see right here. Look, I'm gonna show you something. Look at this. Now, being up close, you will not see it, but I'm gonna show you pulled away from it. Look right here, and forget everything that's there, that's being shown there. Forget everything that's being shown there, I mean, in so much as the smaller images. I'm going to give you the larger images pulled away. Alright? I'm at the forehead. Cross. This is the right eye. This is over the eyebrow. There's an eye in here. Here's the right cheekbone. Here's the left eye, brow. The eye is missing. There's a nostril. There's the right nostril. There's the left nostril. There's the left cheekbone. And coming down into the mouth area, right in here. See that face there? Look. Where the images that are here creates that face right there. Shows you what this man does. Look at that. what exited from the chemistry of all of this. It's a cross-reference. And it shows you, almost like the wheel of life actually too, where it shows you where it stopped. And I can explain. I'm going to need experts to help me do all of this, people, to be totally honest with you. I can point them in a direction of what's happening, and then they can take it and give you the scientific lingo of what's going on. And then in that, you will see multi-dimensional faces. You can see cats. Can you see the cat there? See the bottom lip of the cat right there? There's the cat. There's the cat's furry mouth around it. See the lip of the cat? See the nostril of the cat? See the cat's eyes? See the white furry eyebrow of the cat coming over the cat's ear? You see that? There's a cat right there. See the face of the cat? Right there? See that, people? Cat's nose. This entire image shows you a genetic cult-like process that altered the genes of mankind. And this guy is guilty as charged. My name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jeronification channel. And if you don't understand this, look at my other videos, because it'll help you see better. And then on top of that, people, once you start seeing these multidimensional images, guess what? You become aware of everything that is here, just like I have. And your eyes become trained to see this in the way and read this for what it truly is. History, ancient history is here. Once you get this down pat, perhaps maybe I'll take you back before there was even our existences. But look at the faces of these creatures, in the clothing and the skirting, in the way that the bodies are arranged in these paintings, and then back away from it. And look at how all of a something now, all of this, these skirts have faces. These robes have faces. And then people, and then look at how they all come together to merge into one face. Look at how these creatures' faces, chin, lip, nose, eye. Look at how all of these alien faces come into play, and they're going in each and every direction. And I know what they are all saying. Oh, by the way, I said that this was a bird. Let me take you to that right quick before I actually pull away from that. I can show you that. Oh, here we are over here. Remember I said that this is a bird? You see that, right? And I said that the genes of this bird is signified as being in that woman. Well, people, there's the bird, there's the head of the bird, there's the feathers, there's her skirts created. Lo and behold, if you Google in on this image, she actually has wings. So, people, what is that stating? Hold on, where am I? I'm not even at her. I'm all the way away from her. Hold on. Where we at here? Oh yeah, I was at her, I believe. Yes, I'm what? She actually has wings. There's a wing, and there's a wing. So, people, are you getting the full picture here? Are you getting the message here? Look, a bird upside down encrypted in the painting, and this is her skirt, and then she has wings. She's telling you genetically she's had, in this process of what's going on, that ancient gene is what George Washington tapped into. And then all of these other genes. Now this is all stuff that was already created, people. Look at the face here, people. I love this. I love this here. Then it's telling you that all of these other genes throughout each continent that was created, in the Maya world, in the Arab world, in the Chinese world, and all of these genes is telling you that they took that cocktail of chemistry, and now George Washington re-intervened and changed them. And then after George Washington, here comes the Vatican with their homosexual buddy Salvador Dali and changes it again and boasts of it. See my other videos, people. See my other videos. My name is Jerome Wright. I'm going to end it there. I just want you to see that this is what everything in existence is about. Who you genetically are. And if I got a U.S. president, this painting can't go nowhere. This is stuck in the dome in Washington. And I can read the entire thing. Look at this, people. Look. The entire message can be read here, showing you the path of these genes. My name is Jerome Wright. I'm going to end the video here.